Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى لا سيما المصطفى صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Dear viewers everywhere, I would like to welcome you to another live edition of your program Ask Huda. Our phone number should appear on the screen. There is a slight change in the phone numbers, but currently I would like to begin with a few pending questions from the previous episode. The first question is from Sister Asia from the KSA, who mentioned a hadith and she wanted to verify its authenticity. She said that the hadith of a dead person and his good deeds being presented in the form of a very handsome man who prevents the two angels from asking him the questions in the grave. This is an extremely weak reference. But if you remember that I mentioned the sound hadith which is narrated by Al-Bara ibn Azib, may Allah be pleased with him, in this regard it's a long hadith, that's a sound hadith, which deals with the fate of the person, whether a believer or a non-believer. From the moment of dying, when the person is lying down on his deathbed, then it ends with being in the grave. Then a nice looking person, a handsome looking person would appear to him, but this will be after the questioning of the angels, al-malakain, munkar wa nakir. So whenever he appears to him with this handsome looking and with this beautiful outfit and a great smell, he would ask him, man ant? You are a person who would bring such good news. He would say, don't you know me? I am your good deed. Then a window will be opened for him in the grave towards his seat in heaven, and he will proclaim saying, Rabbi aqim as-sa'a. That is the sound hadith. The hadith that you're referring to, which we said it's an extremely weak hadith, which says that whenever the person dies, his good deeds, especially his relationship to the Quran, will be presented in the form of a handsome man who would even be with him during the questioning of Munkar and Nakir, and when they asked him to be dismissed, he would say, no, I gotta be with him even during the questioning. So this is a very, very weak hadith. The second question of the pending questions from Sister Hafsa from Nigeria, who inquired about hijama and whether it's from the Sunnah. She had two questions. The first is of the hijama, and the second, if a person is obliged to pay zakah for the previous years, which he wasn't able to pay. Okay. First of all, with regards to al-hijama. Al-hijama is a recommended act and one of the best means of remedy and treatment. As it has been mentioned in the various ahadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, the treatment lies in one of three means: شرطة محجم أو شربة عسل أو لسعة بالنار, which means that the best means of treatment is the cupping of al-mihjam, or in drinking honey, or the branding with fire, and وأنا أنهى أمتي. And he said, I forbid you against the branding or the treatment with branding with fire. So he recommended the first two treatments, which is cupping. And the Prophet ﷺ ihtajama, he himself undergone al-hijama, the cupping, a few times, and that is narrated in many ahadith. And in fact, all the ahadith with regards to the timing that it is not recommended to do on this day or that day or that date, these are all weak ahadith, and you can do the hijama any day and any time if you want to. There are also some very sound ahadith. Jabir ibn Abdullah radiyallahu anh narrated in the sound hadith which is collected by Imam Muslim, إن كان في شيء من أدويتكم خير ففي شرطة محجم أو شربة من عسل أو لذعة بنار وما أحب أن أكتوي. وفي البخاري he says صلى الله عليه وسلم وأنا أنهى أمتي عن الكي. That's pretty much similar to the previous explanation of the other hadith which I mentioned, that the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم forbade his ummah again is burning with fire, and he recommended the treatment with al-hijama, which is simply cupping. Nowadays, al-hijama is something being practiced broadly, not only by Muslims but also by non-Muslims, and there should be some precautions and measures taken in considerations, like the personal hygiene and the sterilization of the equipments, and not using the same blade or the same cupping cups with other patients to avoid contamination and to avoid infection, because this is dealing with the blood. And the person who does that should be professional. It's best if it would be done by a physician. I personally know that many physicians they specialize in this field, and they have a long waiting list of clients, because it's a big relief. And many people, like those who have migraine or lower back pain, or they complain of allergy, especially in certain seasons, cupping is an amazing treatment. If you have tried all the migraine medications and it's not working, why don't you try cupping? I personally have done it to myself, done it to others, and I assure you it's a wonderful treatment. Not because we've done it and it does work, but simply because also the Prophet ﷺ recommended that if you need it. Barakallahu fikum. The following pending question was from Brother Muhammad from United Arab Emirates. He said, can we shorten Salatul Asr after the Jumu'ah prayer while traveling? This is a matter of combining the Asr prayer with the Jumu'ah prayer. As you understand that the Prophet ﷺ did combine the two prayers at the time of either one of them. He combined Dhuhr and Asr together, and he shortened them at the time of Dhuhr, the time of the earlier prayer, and that was on the day of Arafah. And while traveling, Dhuhr and Asr. And he also combined Maghrib and Isha, and he postponed the Maghrib to be prayed with Isha, and he shortened the Isha prayer to 2 rakahs. Maghrib cannot be shortened. Similarly is Fajr, cannot be shortened. But with regards to if the Asr is on the Friday, the vast majority of the Muslim jurists are of the view that Friday has a special nature, that you cannot combine Asr with the Jumu'ah. Whether in the cases of traveling, whether in the cases of heavy rain or fear, as these are some of the legitimate reasons that allow the person to combine the prayers. So they said Jumu'ah is a special case. Al-Imam al-Shafi'i, may Allah have mercy on him, is one of those who say there is no difference between Jumu'ah or if it is Dhuhr prayer. So in this case, according to Al-Imam al-Shafi'i, yes, you can combine Asr and shorten it if you're traveling after praying Jumu'ah immediately. Yes, we haven't answered Sister Hafsa's second question, which is if the person is obliged to pay zakah, which he did not pay for previous years because he wasn't able to, or she wasn't able to pay the zakah. A zakah is a debt that once it is due, you should pay it immediately. But sometimes the person have some assets, but he doesn't have the cash to pay the zakah. So if he can borrow to pay the zakah, he should do that. If he doesn't have an access, and he is willing to sell some of those assets, but he doesn't have an easy access to sell them to pay the zakah, then it's a debt. Once he is capable to pay the zakah, he should do so immediately. Az-zakah is the right of the poor in your wealth. It is not something that you pay to people, to the needy ones as a favor from you. Rather, it is, as Allah the Almighty said, وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. And in another ayah, وَالَّذِينَ فِي أَمْوَالِهِمْ حَقٌّ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. The two verses indicate that the zakah which you pay is a due right for the poor upon you. حَقٌّ مَعْلُومٌ لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. And this due payment is known, is 2.5% if it is on cash, saving or investment, and there are other rates if it is zakah on produce or mining or treasure that may be extracted from underground. But the bottom line is that you have to pay the zakah, even the zakah of the previous years, whether you were not able to pay them or you did not pay them out of negligence. In order for your tawbah to be accepted, you must make up the zakah payment. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We have Sister Aisha from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum, welcome to Ask Huda.
Alaikum salam. I'm asking about the, I have 3 questions.
Yes, go ahead,
What
Sister
is
Aisha. Now,
The difference between jinn and shaitan.
Al-Jinn and Shaitan. Okay.
Yeah, because I hear that some jinn who are Muslims and I don't know about the shaitan.
Okay.
Another question is that my brother, he prays in the masjid, which is next to our home. And this masjid, the scholars of this masjid, they practice this, the issue of celebrating the birthday of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Every year they celebrate this birthday of the Prophet. But my brother said he does not practice he does not participate in this issue of celebrating the birthday, but he prays there every time, and all the 5 daily prayers.
Okay.
In that masjid. So my question is his prayers valid?
Okay. Okay.
Another question: the plaiting of hair of women with this thread, black thread, because I know that false hair is haram, is not allowed. But my friend told me that using a thread, a black thread, is not haram. So is it ruled?
Sister Aisha, I really didn't get your third question. If you can explain it furthermore.
The third question.
Third. The third question.
About plaiting hair of women.
Straightening the hair.
Yeah.
Okay. The hair relaxation.
Yeah.
Okay, I got your question. Hair relaxation.
Yes, these are my questions. I have one. Can I add one?
Yes, go ahead, please.
My friend says that she has no money for the hospital bill, but she went to the bank and the bank told her that this is a Muslim bank. She can go to the hospital, check the bill, and give the bank. So the bank will pay the hospital the money, then my friend will be paying the money in installment, but with interest. Like, for example, the hospital bill is 20,000 riyal, let's say. I
got your question, Sister Aisha.
Yeah, but the bank say they will pay that 20,000 riyal, then my friend will be paying 2,025 riyal, that is.
Extra, you mean? She will be paying extra?
Yeah, so is it riba or?
And it's called an Islamic bank, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Okay. Let me quickly answer the last pending question. The last pending question. Sister Thuwaiba from Nigeria. She asked, is it allowed for a woman to have a male driver? And can a woman travel alone without a mahram? We did answer the last question so many times, and we said what the Prophet, peace be upon him, said in this regard. It is impermissible for a woman to travel alone, the travel distance, without having a male mahram of her. We said also there are exceptions, such as whenever it is necessary and she doesn't have anyone with her, such as a male mahram or a husband to travel with her, that's a necessity. And as far as having a male driver, it depends. Like, if you are in a country where you cannot drive, and your only bet is to have a male driver, so you don't have an option, is being with a driver in a car, a khalwa. It depends where is he driving. And he's driving in the city, this is not a khalwa. The windows are not tinted, it's not a khalwa. You're not sitting next to your driver, you're not having a free chat with him, so that is permissible. Taking a cab from one place to another, these are things that we have to do on a regular basis, to drop the kids to school, to go to your hospital, to sometimes go to your work, okay? Let's take this call. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Iman, assalamu alaikum and welcome to Ask Huda.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Go ahead, sister, please.
Yes.
You need to mute your TV first.
Yes, I have one question, or two questions, sorry.
Sister Iman, please do me a favor and mute your TV.
Okay. Okay, I will stand somewhere else.
Okay.
One question that when you have debt and you pay sadaqah to some people, and is that allowed? That's one. The second question is about when you are traveling and you stay, for instance, for 3 weeks in that country, and you are doing the traveler praying for 3 weeks. Is that allowed, or are there any rulings about that? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sister Iman. I appreciate it. Okay. All right. Sister Aisha from the KSA who called earlier, and she asked, her first question is, what is the difference between the jinn and the shaitan? Both belong to the same species. A creation which is created from fire, or particularly a smokeless flame. As Allah the Almighty referred to in many ayat in the Quran to the nature of the jinn. In Surah Al-Kahf, Allah the Almighty says, إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ إِنَّهُ كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ فَفَسَقَ عَنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِ أَفَتَتَّخِذُونَهُ وَذُرِّيَّتَهُ أَوْلِياءَ مِنْ دُونِي وَهُمْ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ بِئْسَ لِلظَّالِمِينَ بَدَلًا. So, now Allah the Almighty specified that Iblis, who is Satan, and a shaitan from Shatana, that he went far away from the straight path, is basically one of the jinn. So al-jinn is the nature of this creation. The species, we have angels who are created from light, and jinn who are created from fire, and we have human beings who are created from mud. And when Allah the Almighty questioned Iblis, he said, why didn't you bow down to what I created by my own hand? He said, أَنَا خَيْرٌ مِّنْهُ خَلَقْتَنِي مِنْ نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِنْ طِينٍ. You created me from fire, and you created Adam from teen, from mud. And he said also in another ayah in Surah Ar-Rahman, وَالْجَانَّ خَلَقَنَاهُ مِنْ قَبْلُ مِنْ نَارِ السَّمُومِ. So the jinn were created before the human beings. From what? From نار السموم, a smokeless flame. So a shaitan is a jinn. But it depends on how extreme in their disobedience, their disbelief. They're given different categories. There is shaitan, there is married, the very excessive person. There is ifritun min al-jinn. But they all belong to that species which are known as al-jinn. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Zainab from Egypt, welcome to Ask Huda.
Assalamu alaikum, doctor. How are you?
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the program.
Okay, I have 3 questions for you, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
My first question is regarding going to the gym where the instructor is a male.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is about fixing these eyebrows. I know you can't pray with it, just for you to fix it for a period of time, then remove it. Is it haram or is permissible? And the next one is about the nails, fixing of nails. Also, I know you can't pray with them, but can you fix them maybe for a period of time, then remove them?
You mean the nail polish?
Not nail polish, nail. Fixing of nails.
I didn't get the question. I don't understand. What is it?
As in a nail, fake nail, you can fix it to your own to make it longer.
Are you your own?
Fix a nail to your nail. A fake nail to your...
Okay. Extending the nails by wearing artificial nails.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Is it haram or is it permissible? Those are my questions.
Okay. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Ibrahim from the KSA.
Hello, assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have a question regarding hijama, that is cupping. I read in the prophetic medicine it is more effective on the days like 17th, 19th and 21st of every lunar month. Is it recommended highly to do on those specific days or throughout the month, like we can do it?
Okay.
Second question is regarding can we recite the ruqyat and also the last surahs like Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Surah Ikhlas, Falaq and Nas, and then blow on the fist and wipe over the body of the boy like Ibrahim. Is it permitted to do so?
Okay.
And third question is, one of my friends did Hajj this year, but she did not do the Tawaf-e-Ifadah till now. So what will be the compensation for that?
What is the act exactly which need to be compensated? You said one of your friends?
Sorry?
You said one of your friends did what?
Hajj.
Okay.
She did not do the Tawaf-e-Ifadah till now.
She didn't do Tawaf al-Ifadah till now?
Yes, and in the main course she became pregnant also. So what will be
she's pregnant.
Compensation?
You said she's pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me answer this question immediately, because whoever didn't do Tawaf al-Ifadah is still in a state of ihram. She is not allowed to embrace her husband, or if her husband too was in ihram and didn't do Tawaf al-Ifadah, they're not allowed to have sexual relations whatsoever. They're not allowed to share bed. And they're still in a state of ihram until they go back and do Tawaf al-Ifadah. Brothers and sisters, I repeatedly mentioned that. Subhanallah, whenever we are going on a vacation, we secure the flights, the package, the hotel reservation, the booking of everything. We make sure that we're going to have fun. We're not missing a thing. Whenever we're doing our lifetime journey, the fifth pillar of Islam, it shouldn't be any lesser than that. People at least should spend an hour. If you sit for an hour to watch the program, Hajj step by step, you will find out all the details about how to perform Hajj. It's a shame. Now I meet people, they spend their life saving to perform Hajj, and they come back without performing Hajj. Basically, your friend haven't performed Hajj yet. And this is no joke. This is very serious. They must go back as soon as possible. They will perform ihram, or she will perform ihram from the miqat and perform umrah. Then she must perform tawaf al-ifadah. Tawaf al-ifadah is the pillar of Hajj. The pillars of Hajj are ihram, then going to Arafah, then performing Tawaf al-Ifadah, which is Tawaf al-Ziyarah, and followed by Sa'i, 4 pillars. The rest, such as spending the night in Mina for 3 nights, throwing the stones, these are all wajibat. If she didn't get to do any of them, each one have a certain compensation or a ransom. But Tawaf al-Ifadah, and luckily, I met some people this year who decided after the stampede in Mina, they cannot do anything else and they want to go back to the States. So I told the family, calm down. You don't have to be in the rush. You don't have to throw the stones. There is a compensation for that. That can be made up. But if you don't do tawaful ifada, your daughter who is with them could not get married. You guys could not have sexual relations because you're in a state of ihram. And until the last day of your lives, you owe Hajj. You have to come back to do tawaful ifada because you're still in a state of ihram. When we return from Arafah and we throw the stones, then we're eligible, after throwing the stones and slaughtering the sacrifice, you're eligible to remove your hair, to shave or trim, then undo your ihram. That's called tahallul, but asghar, minor, incomplete. In order to have a complete tahallul where you can perform everything that a person who's not performing Hajj would do, you gotta do tawaful ifada and the sa'i. If you didn't do it, yes, you're dressed up in your regular clothes, you're wearing stitched clothes, you can wear the perfume, whatever. But having intimate relationship with your spouse is not permitted. Not only that, you're still in ihram and you have to come back to do it, okay? May Allah make it easy for us to comprehend our deen, to learn how to worship Allah the Almighty properly. Many people take it very lightly when it comes to the ibadat and they think, well, I'm going to make it up. If not this year, maybe next year. We should, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. This ayah is mentioned in Surah Al-Hajj. Whoever treats the symbols of Allah, the manasik of Hajj, the commandments of Allah, the Hajj ceremonies with honor and respect, this is a sign of righteousness. And the opposite is true. When the person is not considering this as a sacred thing, then he is not righteous. Whenever he takes it lightly, then the person is not a pious person. May Allah guide us what is best. We're going to take a short break, and inshallah we'll be back in a few minutes to take some more of your questions and to answer these pending questions. Please stay tuned.
Huda TV's social media sites are the best way to contact us from anywhere around the world. Stay connected with Huda TV's latest news and programs through Facebook, Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Skype, and Instagram. It's fast and easy. Stay up to date with your favorite shows and scholars today. Huda TV, a light in every home.
Scale of justice will be brought before me.
Through the powerfully vivid, spiritually uplifting, heart-softening, life-changing, soul-transforming descriptions of life after death, we reminded ourselves about the barrier that is placed. So once you leave this world, a barrier is placed behind you, and you are prevented from coming back to this life. Those 2 rak'ahs that you used to pray, you used to take for granted. After you leave this world, there's a barrier. The journey of the soul through the stages of the day of resurrection and the explicit descriptions of hellfire, as well as the beautiful and spiritually uplifting descriptions of paradise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, we did not create the heavens and the earth without purpose, without aim, without a reason. This is the assumption of those who disbelieve, so beware and woe to those who disbelieve from the hellfire. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us immediately the example of the righteous people on the Day of Judgment. So He says, أَلَا إِنَّ أَوْلِيَاءَ اللَّهِ لَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no doubt, verily, the awliya of Allah, the friends of Allah, those who are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no fear on them, nor shall they grieve.
Now you shall have to
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. The numbers again should appear on the bottom of the screen. Sister Aisha's second question from the case, she said that her brother or whoever is praying in a masjid where the imam and the regular people who pray in this masjid, they celebrate the birth of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, is it permissible to still pray behind this imam? Yes, it is permissible to pray behind this imam. Celebrating the Mawlid of the Prophet ﷺ or not celebrating the Mawlid is not the thing which determines whether the person's prayer is accepted or not. Yes, there is a difference of opinion, and we definitely agree with the opinion which says that we should follow and do not innovate. But this is not an innovation. It's an innovation, but it's not an innovation which makes the person's prayer is invalid. And if his prayer is valid for himself, then he can pray behind him. Wearing or hair relaxation products, is it permissible or not? Yes, it is permissible. You're not changing the creation of Allah the Almighty. You are wearing any sort of cosmetics which is permissible as long as the ingredients are lawful. Her friend was not able to pay the hospital bills, so she went to so-called Islamic bank, and they agreed to pay the bills, but she will have to pay back the bank with interest. Very Islamic. Very Islamic. In fact, this transaction is not Islamic whatsoever. And this is a typical riba transaction. Because if you want to understand the concept of usury is that when I give you 100, because you need them badly, whether for your hospital bills, for your treatment, for your education, for whatever reason, that you're going to pay me back in 3 months, in 3 years, whatever. But it's going to be 100. It is not going to be 100. It's going to be more. 110, 150, or 200. It doesn't matter. If it is 101, anything, any loan that you take, where when you pay it off, you have to pay anything extra, that is called riba. And this is absolutely forbidden. And they shouldn't call themselves an Islamic bank. What is the stand of the sister if she doesn't have anyone to lend her the money? She doesn't have any source to give her a goodly loan. That's a necessity. Take it. Pay the interest. But there is no blame on you. The blame is on the bank. There should be some social welfare where we help the poor and the needy, help people to receive the proper treatment and the medications if they cannot afford it. This is a Muslim country though. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Ikram from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum Ikram, and welcome to Ask Huda.
Thank you. Good evening, Sheikh.
Good evening to you. Go ahead.
One question.
Yeah?
Is it true that if a person does something to you and you say that you don't forgive that person, is it true that Allah will, on Judgment Day, Allah will take from the person's good deeds and ask your own, I will remove from your bad deeds and ask to the person?
Okay. Ikram, you sound a young viewer, mashallah, may Allah bless you. If you forgive a person who have hurt you, Allah loves you. And Allah will reward you for that. He's not going to take now from His good deeds to give you, nor would He take from your sins to cast upon Him, because you already pardoned him or her. Okay? And also on the Day of Judgment, when you forgive your brother or your sister who have hurt you, Allah the Almighty will reward you for that. Because when you pardon the person, you are dropping the charges, if I may say. Okay? Thank you. Allah the Almighty says, وَأَن تَعْفُوا أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى. It is better to pardon. It is better to pardon. And when you pardon and you forgive, Allah will pardon you and will forgive you as well. Sister Iman, if somebody is in debt, can he still give any charity? Of course. And as a matter of fact, if you are in debt, if you are in financial restraint, and you give any charity, Allah the Almighty will help you to settle your debt and pay it off. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Bilal, may Allah be pleased with him, O Bilal, أنفق ولا تخش من ذي العرش إقلالا. And he said, أنفق ينفق, أنفقي ينفق عليك. He said to Aisha. And to many other companions, the hadith means that when you spend on the poor, when you spend in a charity, when you give the needy ones, Allah will give you a replacement. وَمَا تُنْفِقُوا مِنْ شَيْءٍ فَهُوَ يُخْلِفُهُ. Whatever you give, Allah will give you a replacement much better than what you spend. But we're talking about within your capacity. Now you have a loan which is due tomorrow or next week, and you must pay your debt on time or the payment on time, and somebody is asking you for a donation similar to the amount which you owe. The priority is to settle your debt, because you need to thank the person who gave you a relief, give you some loan in order to give you a relief to fulfill your needs. So you need to pay off the debt on time first. And that's why we say, if you're in debt and you want to go for Hajj, settle your debt first. Unless if your debtor says, I don't mind, or you don't have to pay me now, or the loan is not due yet, and you're capable to do both. Her second question is traveling abroad for 3 weeks, and what is the ruling on shortening the prayer in this condition? According to the vast majority of the Muslim Jews, that the traveling for more than 4 days, if you stay in the place which you reached and you're planning to stay in it for more than 4 days and nights, in this case you start praying regular, not 3 weeks. Okay? Sister Zainab from Egypt, her questions are very interesting. That a woman going to the gym, and not just going to the gym, and having a male instructor, that is not befitting, sister. And I was invited to intervene in a problem. A husband is having a serious problem that his wife is going to the gym and having a male instructor, and that led to a disaster. You know, a male instructor who is instructing a female who's wearing spandex and wearing tight, revealing clothes because she's doing her exercise. I don't even allow that for a woman before another woman, because wearing those revealing clothes, exposing the major awrah, is not permitted, even in front of another woman. You know, the woman must understand that Allah the Almighty ordered her, as He ordered men to cover up their awrah. There is awrah for a woman before also another woman, even if this woman is her mother or her daughter or her sister. You think that it's okay for a girl to sit before her dad, her own dad, wearing a pair of shorts, as it happens in the West? We see that. We see that when we go to churches, when we go to schools, when we go to universities to give a speech or interfaith dialogue. Yeah, it's normal, but in Islam, it's a religion of modesty that is not permissible. That's not permissible. Don't tell me that I'm wearing the scarf. This is not the hijab. The scarf is, you know, the hijab is not only about the scarf. So sister, dress up properly, and you shouldn't be doing your exercise before a male whatsoever. There was a question recently about Hajj. Okay? You know that while performing sa'i, we do what is known as a sa'i. We jog between or under this umbrella of the green light. This area where Hajar, peace be upon her, was jogging down the valley. But only men do that. Women do not jog before men, because jogging exposes their awrah and moves their body, and this is not permissible before people who are not your mahram, even though you're dressed up in your full hijab. What about being dressed up in sports clothes, tight revealing outfit, and having a male instructor? This is definitely forbidden. And I met many people who are instructors at the gym, and I asked them to quit the job. It's absolutely forbidden, and their earning is absolutely forbidden. They are male instructors to female members in the gym, giving them instructions on how to exercise. It's not permissible to touch a woman who's not lawful to you. It's not permissible to lay your eyes on a body of a woman who's not permissible to you. قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ ذَلِكَ أَزْكَى لَهُمْ. And in the following ayah of Surah An-Nur, وَقُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنَّ وَيَحْفَظْنَ فُرُوجَهُنَّ. Both men and women, the believing men and women, are commanded to lower their gaze. Now we were exposing yourself to everyone to look at you. You know? And you're having an instructor who is staring at you throughout the time. Don't tell me, no, nothing happens. It happens with non-Muslims, and it happens with Muslims. And I'm handling a case currently. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Ahmed from Pakistan, thank you for waiting for so long on the line. Welcome to the program.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Well, I was watching the program, so I have a question as well regarding the Tawaf-e-Wida and Faza. If somebody went for a Hajj and he performed Hajj and all the rituals, but before leaving Makkah for Pakistan, let's say that maybe after 10 days after Hajj or something. So how important is it first that before leaving one should perform Tawaf-e-Wida?
Okay. Got it, Brother Ahmed. Any other questions?
Tawaf-e-Ifada and Tawaf-e-Ziyara, if you can just tell us the difference between.
Okay. Barakallahu feek. Thank you. Akhi Ahmed, Tawaf al-Ifada is a main pillar for Hajj. Okay? And if you do not do it, you did not do Hajj. Tawaf al-Wada' is wajib, mandatory. But if the person did not perform Tawaf al-Wada', they simply can make it up by offering a ransom. They slaughter what is known as a fidya, a sheep, to be slaughtered in Mecca and to be distributed amongst its poor people. Then the Hajj is complete. Even if the person left without doing so, they can simply contact somebody in Mecca and by proxy ask them to offer the fidya in their state, and the Hajj is complete. Women during the menses, if the menses started after doing the Tawaf al-Ifada, as it happened with one of the wives of the Prophet ﷺ, Sayyidah Safiya, may Allah be pleased with her. She got to leave without performing Tawaf al-Wada'. It is not necessary. She's exempt from performing Tawaf al-Wada'. If a person postponed Tawaf al-Ifada or Ziyara until the last time before leaving from Mecca, and he performed Tawaf al-Ifada, and then the Sa'i, he doesn't have to perform another Tawaf for al-Wada', because the purpose of the farewell Tawaf is that the last activity in Mecca should be given a farewell to the Kaaba. Okay? Sister Zainab's second question. Blocking the eyebrows is not permissible. This is what the Prophet ﷺ said. Whether you do it for your husband, whether you do it because you're attending a party, whether you're doing it, to meet your fiancé so that he will like you, this is not permissible. The scholars said it's only permissible in one condition. Sometimes women have excessive hair. If a woman have this excessive hair and the eyebrows are connected, so they may remove the barrier. They may create a barrier between the two eyebrows and remove the hair in between. That is permissible. Okay, so she would look a normal person. But what we see, shaping the eyebrows and plucking them and drawing with whatever in a different shapes, this is absolutely forbidden. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned a specific hadith in this regard, which is collected by Imam Bukhari, and the penalty is very severe. Wearing those nail extension, likewise. We said, first of all, with regards to the nail polish, you cannot be praying with while wearing the nail polish, because you need to remove them in order to perform wudu. So also wearing the artificial nails, and this is very common practice in North America and some parts of Africa as well. Likewise, when the Prophet ﷺ said, لَعَنَ اللَّهُ النَّامِصَةَ وَالْمُتَنَمِّصَةَ وَالْوَاشِمَةَ وَالْمُسْتَوْشِمَةَ والواصلة والمستوصلة والمتفلجات للحسن المغيرات لخلق الله. This is a sound hadith which is narrated by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Why the Prophet, peace be upon him, cursed those who wear wigs or connect their hair with artificial hair, plug their eyebrows, wear tattoo, or file between their teeth. He said these are all means of changing the creation of Allah the Almighty. Just be yourself. You can wear the makeup as much as you want. You can wear the lipstick, the eye liners, the kuhl, the best of zina, the best adornment. You can wear the best perfume. You can shop in any shop, wear the best lingerie for your spouse. You're absolutely free to do that. But stay away from what Allah has forbidden. Did Allah forbid that? Is it mentioned in the Quran? It reminds me of the woman who objected to Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, may Allah be pleased with him, when he said so. He said, yes, that is mentioned in the Quran. He said, no, it isn't. I've read the Quran from cover to cover. I didn't find a single ayah that says, do not wear wigs, do not plug the eyebrows, do not do this. He said, have you read it? You would have found it. She said, where? He said, in Surah Al-Hashr. Allah the Almighty says, وَمَا أَتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ فَخُذُوهُ وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. Whatever the messenger gives you, commands you to do, you must fulfill it. وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ فَانْتَهُوا. And whatever he forbids you against, you must abstain absolutely from it and stay away from it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Abdul Latif from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Abdul Latif.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda.
Sheikh, I want to ask, can I'm wearing glasses for, can I do LASIK surgery for correct my refractive error in my eyes, to remove the specs?
To remove what?
To remove the specs which I am wearing the glasses.
Oh, you're talking about LASIK? The LASIK surgery?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, no problem. And congratulations. Just be careful.
Thank you.
Okay? You're most welcome. You know, as I was living in the States and working in the medical field, and my colleagues in the eye center and here and there said, Muhammad, why don't you go for the LASIK? Back then it was, you know, it was just starting, and it used to cost like $3,000 per one eye. And for me, it could be for free. But they say that, you know, when you reach 40, you will have to wear glasses for walking and reading. So I said, then in this case, I don't have to do it if I end up wearing glasses at a certain age. But I think now it's much more advanced. So, and it's much safer, of course. It is definitely permissible. Correcting the eyesight through the LASIK surgery, no problem. We're done with Sister Zainab. Al-Hijama, brother, Sister Ibrahim, on certain days, 17th and 19th, and so on. Many of the scholars recommended undergoing the hijama on the 17th, 19th, and the 21st of the lunar months. Based on some narrations narrated by some of the companions, such as Anas ibn Malik, may Allah be pleased with him, he said the companions of the Prophet used to go for the cupping on those days, which are odd days, 17th, 19th, and the 21st. And there are many ahadith in this regard, but tell you the truth, brothers and sisters, the ahadith which forbid against undergoing the hijama on certain days, such as Saturday and Wednesday, etc., and the ahadith on Tuesday, and the ahadith which recommend doing the hijama on certain days, they're all weak ahadith. So basically, you can do hijama on any day. You can do, especially if you're sick. And again, because you brought it up, it is very interesting. Some people have spent a lot of money and have been suffering for years from migraine. And they think this is like, you know, it's a myth, hijama and blah, blah, blah. No, it's very interesting. And it is definitely a cure. It's very simple. And it wouldn't take a few minutes. Try it. And try it with the intention of following the tradition of the Prophet ﷺ, since he said it is definitely a cure. Sister Ibrahim also asked about reciting the ruqya upon a child. So by reciting in your own palms, then blowing twice by the end of each set of the recitation of Al-Mu'awwidhat, Al-Ikhlas, Al-Falaq, Al-Nas, or afterward, Ayatul Kursi, then wiping by your own hands over the head, the face, and the body of your child is also prescribed. Because Aisha radiallahu anha used to do that to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he felt very ill, but she used to do it in his own palms, to seek the blessings of his own palms, and would use them to wipe over his body. That is permissible. We're done. We're out of time. But we have much more information to share with you, brothers and sisters. I hope inshallah we'll have another chance, perhaps on Tuesday, to do so. Until then, I leave you all in the care of Allah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance and in your deen